One of the records that influenced Daddy's Home was definitely Steely Dan's 1974 record, Pretzel Logic, Seen Here. It's a great record, like every single Steely Dan record. There's not a bad one in the bunch. One of the ones I love, the songs I love the most on this record is Any Major Dude Will Tell You. It's kind of uncharacteristic for Steely Dan because it's sort of a little ballady and it's kind of soft and a little almost like country twangy, but it's a very, very sensitive moment for Steely Dan, which I love. It's Fagin at his most vulnerable. But one of the great things about Steely Dan and why they've been one of my favorite bands forever is they make things that are really sophisticated sound so musical. You don't realize how really like kind of heavy the harmony is, and it's amazing playing without losing feel. It's kind of a joke in the music industry that sound people, when they're walking into a new venue, will put on a Steely Dan record to test the system because they're just known for being like sonically perfect. One time a sound guy who I was working with put on John Mayer's Gravity, and I fired that sound guy. Writing Daddy's Home, I took a lot of that harmonic sophistication and I really studied it. And I was like, oh wow, this is so exciting. Why does this chorus feel like this really fresh lift? And I was like, duh, it's the harmony. I need to go back and brush up on that. So I really just dug deep into this kind of 70s harmony, which is, it's like a really great fusion, literally fusion, but fusion of rock and jazz. It's like jazz sophistication in pop song. So that's one of the reasons I love Steely Dan so much. Also because they, like me, have a sort of inglorious namesake, which is Steely Dan, was what William S. Burroughs referred to as a dildo in Naked Lunch. So I feel some kind of kinship with them there. And I've seen Steely Dan probably 8 times. My first concert, 1994. So I was destined to be a fucking nerd. So this is another record that really influenced Daddy's Home. It is Stevie Wonder, Talking Book. This came out in 1972, and it's part of a really epic Stevie Wonder run in the early 70s that included Fulfilling This First Finale, Inner Vision, Songs in the Key of Life. And this has one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs ever. And it's got a really stanky clav. And it's a song called Maybe Your Baby. And it's like, it's a blues, right? Like but the lyric is like, maybe your baby done made some other plans. Like, whoops, you've been stood up. It's a great sentiment, and it grooves so hard, and it's just so rad. And one of the things that I really wanted to do with Daddy's Home was really just capture performances. Like, here's great players playing in a room, and there's this kind of like effortlessness to the groove, but also it's like super heavy, and that's what really draws me to this record. Just like super heavy groove. Okay, so this record is by a band called War. One of the few records of the sounds that influenced Daddy's Home that was not made in New York City. This is like, War is sort of like the Long Beach sound of the early 70s. You can tell because of there's just like there's an influence of Afro-Cuban music. There's Latin music in there and like really, really sick grooves. And again, it's just like, it's this music that was played in a room, people just like vibing, and it just feels really good, and it's cool. It's really cool. So I first heard War on the Dazed and Confused soundtrack. They had a song called Why Can't We Be Friends? But I think my favorite War song is on this record, The World is a Ghetto, and it's called Cisco Kid. And the groove is so sick, and I just tried to like capture some of that just like easy groove energy, you know, and there's a lot of like percussion that comes in and out, and it's just, again, it's just the feeling of people playing in a room and making things fun and alive and fun and alive. Oh, okay, so another thing about this record that is really cool is it was recorded at a studio where I actually worked a lot. It originally was called Crystal Industries, the studio where they recorded it, and Stevie Wonder did a bunch of stuff there in the early 70s too, but I actually recorded a lot of the Sleater-Kinney record, The Sinner Won't Hold, at that studio. So the vibe is strong. So another record that really influenced the sound of Daddy's Home might be slightly more surprising. It's early Yes from a record called Fragile, and really there's the most epic bass tone. Chris Squire plays this like epic bass tone, and it comes in the perfect way on Long Distance Runaround, which is on this record, and it's just like it's super warm and super fat, and it just sounds so good. And every time it comes in, you're like, yes, thank God, this is so sick. And so yeah, this is a Yes record, a little more on the proggy spectrum than some of the other things, but like a deep listen for sure. So another record that really influenced Daddy's Home is Dance to the Music, Sly and the Family Stone. This is just like classic sleazy 70s funk. It feels good, it sounds good, it's warm, it makes you want to dance. You really can't beat it. You can't beat it. You can't beat this for vibe and feel and groove. It's fucking sick.